Hello everyone, it is good to be back. It is good to have you back. Today I will be showing you my design. This is what I've been working on for quite a while, and I'll give you a little bit of backstory instead of giving you, a review that's trying not to be biased, because it is of course my design. So I'll be talking more about my perspective and design features rather than your classical review. So let's get into it. So right in front of me are three boxes, but what's on top of them is actually something different that's in the box. These are actually two of the first prototypes, and we are going to check them out later. But for now, let's actually unbox one of these. As you can already tell, the collaboration is with Kansept, and I think they've upgraded their boxes. I don't remember them being so glittery, but other than that, the box is, regular Kansept, the box that I actually really like. So, sliding it out, you have, your regular Kansept sheets and cleaning cloth inside, and here is the actual pouch with the knife. So they all come in this really nice Kansept pouch that we all already know, and this configuration I have here, as you can see, is in full titanium. That's right, here it is. Ladies and gentlemen, Kosame. This is my design collaboration with Kansept. Let's take a bit of a closer look. And now let's talk a bit about the design itself. As you can see, the design is featuring, you could call it a Warncliffe blade, but what I mainly wanted was a straight edge. This is a pretty long edge. As we can see, it is actually 3.38 inches large knife, so it's quite on the bigger side. It's not super large, but it's more on a larger side of the designs. I really wanted to have that long and straight edge, so that's how I designed the blade. Now it actually has more features than it might seem at first. For example, this notch over here, the small part was designed so when you are doing some precision cutting, you can place your finger out here on the front and get a really nice grip on the blade and get really precise with cutting. Over here, jimping is corresponding to the handle, which is really interesting and is even more amazing on the other designs. But the jimping, as you can see, has these cool cutouts, cut-ins, however you call it, and on top it's jimped. So at first I thought that it might be like a bit of a sharp the way I designed it, but it's actually pretty comfortable. Like, it's not sharp at all, it's quite comfy, and as a jimping it works substantially well. I might even argue that it works better than other jimpings. But if you do use it like really hard, like press really hard, it can be uncomfortable. I will tell you that for sure. As you can see, it will leave imprints if you press like super hard. So just have that in mind. Like, it won't hurt you because guys at Kansept have done a really nice job with machining. Now, as I've said, it is corresponding to the handle pattern, which also has cutouts, and they are actually here to give you a look at the inlay that is placed underneath and that is nicely hidden due to the screws that are actually on the underside and not on the top. And this model is actually really interesting because if you shine light through it, there you go. It actually shines through, because this one has jade insert. The other ones have different inserts and different configurations, and we'll check them out. Other than that, the pocket clip is 3D milled, because I really like 3D milled pocket clips. I think a lot of people do. It works really well, as you can see over here. So it slides in very nicely, super comfortably, and that is not going anywhere. There is no way that's going anywhere. It works really well, super comfortable, slides in and out very easily, because it's nothing complex of a pocket clip. It's pretty standard. I wanted to go minimal, so I just gave it a bit of my dash to the design. Other than that, we have small back spacer, and the action, yeah, the action is amazing. The action is absolutely amazing. I'm really surprised with what Kansept was able to do with my design, you know, the way they machined it. And it is actually kind of a budget knife in the full titanium category, and I'll talk more about that later, but let me show you the other configurations as well. So let's get that in. Here we have the full black wash titanium. I know many people love blacked out carries, so this one is for you. I certainly do love them as well, so I had to do a full blacked out version. So here it is. This is how it looks. This one is featuring, as you can see, Damascus copper in the inlay, and I think it looks extremely nice. It looks really nice on the sun. I'm not sure if I can replicate the effect here. I highly doubt it, but it's really, like, you know, shining nicely because it is metal, the copper part, and it looks just amazing. So that is the full blacked out version. And last version that I have here, at least, these are not all the configurations. There are two more, and I can show it to you on the website, but this is the last version I have in my hands as of this moment. And this is the light blue titanium with Damascus blade. That's right, I had to go a little bit shiny on one of the configurations, although this one is still within the budget. It's not much more expensive than other versions. I think it's like 20 bucks more. So here is the Damascus blade. I think it looks absolutely amazing. I'm not sure. I can't remember how this one is called. I think it's Raindrop Damascus. I'm not completely sure, but there it is. I think it looks super clean, and we have over here are the shredded carbon fiber inlays with this particular configuration. So yeah, these are the three configurations that I have. There is one more. I think that one is black wash titanium handles with satin stone washed blade, I believe. And then the last one is with rose gold blade, and I think that handles are either dark titanium or black. I can't check that out, but here they are. Aren't they pretty? I'm really satisfied with the design. I took a lot of thinking into this one, and I think it turned out really well. I'm above all thankful to the patience of everybody on Kansept team. They were happy, you know, they were available for discussion, because from the original prototypes there were few things that I wanted to change that I didn't have in mind when originally designing, and they were happy to change them. So that's what we're going to talk about right now. As you can see here, I have two prototypes. These are first knives that were made. And the first thing that you'll notice is there is no jimping on the blade. So it's just flat. Now this I did mention, but we didn't do it in prototypes, so that wasn't, you know, something additional. But what is very different and super crucial for the ergonomics and comfort of the design is the back part of the handle. As you can see over here, there is no chamfering. So it is just a plain edge. Whereas here on the final models, there is chamfering. And without this chamfering, this is actually a pretty sharp edge. And when you hold it, you can most certainly feel it. So I didn't have that in mind when I was originally designing, because I didn't think it would be this sharp, because I really do like how clean it looks. Like, I really like how clean that edge is, but when I held it in hand, I was like, you know, I'll sacrifice the clean aesthetics for comfort. So that's what I did. Now you guys have a much more comfortable version over here. Now this fits in the hand super nicely. The other thing that was changed is the pocket clip placement. As you can see here, it is not centered in respondence to this radius over here. So in the final version, we centered that as well by moving it more to the right, which to me is huge visual change, because, you know, this really throws me off. And then one more thing that was done to these versions is internal milling. I'm not sure if I'm going to get a good angle, but there is milling done on the inside. Since this is pretty thick slab of titanium, they have done some internal milling, and you can certainly feel the weight difference between these two guys. So that's what was done, you know, different from the prototype versions. Now, I have heard from other reviewers that they wish that there was some jimping added over here on the flipper tab, and although they did say that it performs well, they would like to have it regardless. And I was thinking about having jimping, but honestly, I don't find it to be working poorly unless you like really slide your finger instead of flipping it out. Then yes, you know, then jimping would be required. But I think that all the people that use knives know how to use a flipper tab. Like, you're not sliding it, you're instead pushing it down. So, you know, to me it works extremely well. And even if you have more humid hands, it should work fine as long as you use, you know, near the tip or the whole slab to push it down instead of sliding, because in that case it doesn't work. I think you know what I'm talking about. Like, everybody that uses a knife probably knows how to use a flipper tab. So there it is. The button lock works really well. I think the whole combination is really good. Now, I do have some news of some sorts, and that will all depend on the reaction, the response to the design we did from you guys. Yeah, we were thinking about making different inlays. So if you guys really like the design and perhaps, you know, want to get different type of inlay, perhaps different color, perhaps different material, I was thinking that we could design a few different inlays, and then you guys could buy them separately or alongside your knife, perhaps configure your own version of Kosame. That is something that is possible, and we need your feedback. Like, we need to know that you guys want this. So if you do, you know, let us know in the comments. We'll see what we can do. The other thing that I'm not sure I can even talk about, so, you know, I'll talk quietly, I'll whisper, is that if this design does really well, you guys buy it and like it, there is a possibility that a version with crossbar lock, so your, I don't know, it crossbar lock is on many knives, axis lock, crossbar lock, there is a chance that it will come to this design, and that lock, in my opinion, is absolutely amazing. So if you guys like this design, show support, comment on posts on Instagram, comment here, and show that you like it, and there is a chance that a version with axis lock will come out. So those are kind of the two news. Depending on the feedback we get from you, perhaps we'll try to incorporate them in the future, in near future, hopefully. But yes, we need your guys' feedback. I think that's all I can say as far as the design goes. You can follow me on Instagram to check more. Of course, I'll be posting way more photos and everything there. Here, I'll be dropping a review and perhaps a few unboxings, so you guys can also check it out. But I really encourage you to follow how everything is going over on the Instagram. This is my first design. Is it the last? Well, I can't really talk much about that, but if you guys love it, I would certainly appreciate your support, and any critique, like really, that you have on this design, I would absolutely love to hear it. I wasn't even thinking of talking about, is this a perfect design? Is this like my perfect knife? Because I don't believe that such thing exists. It could perhaps exist for one person, and it could perhaps exist on only one part of their life's journey. But I think that gear is something that changes as you change, and there just isn't a perfect gear for one person, and definitely not one gear that's perfect for multiple people. So I hope that this is just one of my many designs, and that one of my designs will appeal to you and find its way to your pockets. That is my hope, that it will inspire you to get it, and it will inspire you on your daily journey. So no, this is most certainly not anything like a perfect knife, because I don't believe such thing exists.